nature's skies. Ooh, come save your child. Come save your child. I say come sisters. Come and take back your child. This grace. Calling all the women, calling every single mother. Oba, woman, let us unite. Come, mamas, come and save your child. Baby earth is reeling and wailing and needs your tender embrace. Mothers of the universe, Mother Nature's skies. Ooh, come save your child. Come save your child. I say come sisters. Come and take back your child. This crazy world is breaking and burning and needs your strength right away. Mothers of the universe, Mother Nature's skies. Ooh, take back your child. Take back your child. Oh, this is our time. Oh, this is our time. Oh, woman, no. This is our time. Oh, woman, oh. This is our time. There is no place to run, so you must take away their guns and teach them right from wrong, and that love can conquer all. You rock the cradle, you carry the world. This is our time.
This is our time. Hello, everybody. Hello, welcome. Welcome to Women with Words. Today is Thursday. We're here for our usual every Thursday, 7 p.m. Wow, looking so short.
You are short.
I am not short.
Okay.
I'm 5'5". That's not
Okay.
short.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
You
I'm
are?
5'5". My dad was really tall, though. You don't get me started talking about my very tall
How
father.
tall was your father?
My father was 5'7".
Like, really?
That is not very tall, but
Really?
That's tall for our family.
Oh my
I'm
God.
just kidding. Yeah.
And you used the word very just now. Like you
You
said,
know, I thought it
very
was
tall.
He was
6'5",
very tall,
6'6".
That's tall.
Wow. Please,
How tall are
please
you?
be
How
our
tall are
guest.
you, Agatha?
I'm 5'6".
Okay, you just an inch. Well, you're a foot over. Well, how tall are you, Michael?
I'm an inch taller
I'm
than you.
5'11".
Okay, an inch. You what?
I'm 5'11".
You're short for a dude, Mike.
Not really.
Yes, you are.
No, not really. I'm almost
Well,
6
hello, everybody. Forget about it. Hi, I am the tallest woman here on this show today.
No, you're not.
Welcome, everybody, to Women with Words. We're here again this Thursday. A lot of things have happened from last Thursday till today, but we're here, and we want to say welcome. Of course, today is a better day today. Last week I struggled. I struggled. Like, I have to say it. I want to first. This is Holy Week. I want to thank God for His healing, for everything. I was here. I was left alone by two people. Y'all know them. And I was so sick, but I made it through the show. And right after the show, I was rushed to the ER by my daughter. But I'm here today, and I thank God that I'm feeling better. And it gives me a great pleasure, of course, to be here with my two co-hosts. Of course, my name is Glendy. And last week, I didn't even get to call my name. That's how confused and sick I was. I didn't even get to call my name because I was so way under the weather, so dizzy and everything else. But anyway, I thank God that I'm feeling a whole lot better today. And of course, my name is Glendy Jane Junius, and I'm here this evening with my two
Michael
co-hosts.
Padmore.
Okay.
And Agatha Joseph. Listen here. I got to respond to that. Listen here. Look at here. In this great United States of these Americas, we work a lot.
You do?
We work. We ain't got nobody sending us 15K every month just to sit on this show and talk. So we had to put in the work, and the man needed me to stay a little later, and unfortunately I had an emergency. So I'm grateful, Glendy, that you are doing well. I'm also grateful you were able to hold down the fort. Thank you. I appreciate you.
I tried.
So what was going on with you, Glendy?
Only you would ask.
Yeah, I need to know.
Well,
I
I sent the pregnancy test, and she hasn't sent it back yet, Mikey. So I'm not quite sure, but I'll let her.
It wasn't any pregnancy, but it's something that it probably is good to share. So having and I think it's a residual effect from me having COVID before. So sometimes in December, I was diagnosed with hypertension. I was sick. I was very sick with COVID at the time. And I went to the ER, and because my blood pressure was high, they said I had COVID. I was hypertensive. So they put me on some medication that I became severely dizzy with. 2 weeks ago, I could barely stand. I had to hold things. I was so dizzy, and I couldn't keep a balance. But I kept taking the medication because my pressure was not stabilized. And then on Tuesday, Wednesday, I couldn't work because I just couldn't stand up. And then on Thursday, I went to work for a few hours. I came home, and right after the show, my daughter saw me. I'm almost fell, and she said, "Mom, we're going." And I said, "No, I'm okay." She said, "Mom, I'm going to my room. I'm going to put my clothes on, and we're going to the hospital." And so I didn't want to argue with her because she's, when she does it like that, no one wants to argue with David Dean. So I said, "Okay, let's go." It was good. We went. Subsequently, we found out the labs and everything was okay, that it was an allergic reaction to the medication, side effects. So the dizziness is still there's wearing off, but it's a whole lot better. And I got the medications changed. Medication, not medication. I ain't taking plenty of medicine. I don't know why I can be scared to take that one medicine. But I'm taking it. But it just shows that if you know your body, and the teachable moment about this is if you know your body, you start taking something and you notice a change, you want to pay attention to it. Even though I knew I didn't feel right, but I kept taking the medicine and the dizziness got worse. And so finally, when I went to the ER Thursday, they told me to stop taking the medicine. I stopped it. Come Sunday, I'm laying here feeling like I was having a stroke because my pressure was so high. My face was twitching. And then my daughter again came and said, "We're going to take this medicine so it can help you. You will bear the dizziness. You'll lay down, but we'll take it until tomorrow." So I did. I got it changed. I'm feeling a whole lot better. But you have to be able to be alert to those things to make sure that you know what's going on and you want to ask and follow up on it. So I thank God I'm not ready to go yet. I have to. I'm a virgin. You know that. I have to have whether it's a husband, a lover, a boyfriend, or whoever is coming. He has to come soon. So I still
Oh,
want to be around. He asked, so I'm responding. So
okay.
Well, tell you who else you're talking about it here.
but it's a blessing to be. I feel a whole lot better. I'm telling you, at the end of the show last Thursday, I was just holding myself from falling. I was so weak and dizzy on the show, but I did the best I could with all my broken English. I continued till the end.
She got
So
throat
welcome
shade.
everybody. Let's just go to so you got the answer, Mr. Padmore?
Yeah, I got some of the answer, but I will go with that for now.
Okay. Agatha,
Yes.
tell us a little bit about what's going on today, I swear.
That's a great question. What is going on today?
Okay, and let me just say we see our guest is having some trouble. She's of course our guest this evening is none other than Fatu Gbedema. We're looking forward to seeing Fatu and talking with
Yeah.
her. Fatu, of course, lives in Ghana, and I see that she's having some trouble logging in. And of course, we're going to be talking to her, the mother of an exceptionally gifted child, her son. She's going to be talking to us about him, her family, some of the things that she's involved with. We hope that the conversation today can be able to educate some of us, if not all of us, but some of us about what it means to be a mom, the challenges you have to feel, to the role you have to fill and to play when you have children who have special needs. So that's top of the show today. I hope she can join. I'm going to leave Michael and Agatha to continue a little bit. Let me check on our guests.
So
Sounds
today,
like a
Michael, I
plan.
want to talk about the difference between invisible and invincible.
Go right ahead.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
Go right ahead. And next you start talking about between park and sports pitch, and that's what all
Ooh.
people. But anyway, it's so nice to have you guys with us today. We're excited. This month we're going to be talking a lot about challenges, mental health challenges, and all of the things that come with it. And so we're excited for our guest today. Hopefully, we can get her connected
Yeah.
and we can hear firsthand what those challenges are, how she's come to overcome those, how what it is like, and what word of advice she has for the rest of the parents out there that might be dealing with the same. The month of April
Yeah.
is
There's
it's
a lot going
national,
on, right?
huh?
There's a lot going on in April.
Yeah, National Child Abuse Awareness Month.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, of course, rape has reared its ugly head once more in Liberia. Did you hear about this, Agatha? The head of the SOS village has been accused of raping one of the children at the SOS village.
No way.
I'm serious.
No, I did not hear it.
Yes,
When
I
did that
heard
come
that
out?
this morning.
Okay.
I heard that this morning.
I've been heads down
That the
until
gender
wake this
ministry
up.
had to come in and remove the girl from the SOS village and take her to one of the safe houses locations. The gentleman is actually a Sierra Leonean.
Why are they removing the child and not the accused? There are
I
multiple
think it's
children.
protocol for them that they extract the child from
Yeah, but there are
wherever.
other children there, right?
Makes a lot of sense.
I would extract the
You idiot.
accused,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
get
I
the
would
child
too.
some help, but there are other
Yeah.
children that are being exposed to
Yeah.
this person.
And
Anyway,
I have not heard if he has been arrested or not. I know he had been called in for questioning by the police. Whether he was taken into custody or not, I have not been able to confirm that. And I know rape is an unbailable offense. So once arrested, you should remain in custody
until
uh,
you're hearing.
throughout until you are declared now guilty.
So
So
let me
is yeah.
let me just say yesterday I'm still having difficulty getting to Fatu. I hope that she's able to join us. Um what I stumbled upon a conversation that was mistakenly dropped in my inbox yesterday.
Mistakenly.
Okay,
Yes.
so
That's
okay,
jeez.
So the person was talking to me at the same time was talking to the
someone
students
else.
about this situation. And
Hmm.
so what they were trying to tell the person is that they heard that the guy, the SOS guy who is from Sierra Leone, who is the
Hmm.
leader of the SOS village, was
Hmm.
released because he's friends with the gender minister and the police. So he is not in custody. So they
Wow.
were going to inquire today if that was true or not. Let me try and see
If
if
we cannot bring her on physically, see if we can bring her on a voice like WhatsApp voice
Just
and,
audio.
and yeah, audio, and see if we can just have her on audio. I mean,
okay. So yeah,
it'll be better
continue.
than nothing.
Let me folks, you're bear with us, okay?
Yeah.
Continue. Let me go. Let me.
But this is amazing. This is amazing. Yes, and like I said, I didn't have any information to follow up on. I just, I came across that information, and I was like, wow, this is, when the protectors of children become the abusers of children, it just takes it to a whole different level.
Of
And of course,
difficulty.
there's this other gentleman. I believe he's from Point Four. He's a landlord.
I saw
Um,
that one.
Yes, he's a landlord, and he had abused a tenant's,
Yes, a
and
12-year-old girl.
yes, and
Yes,
then he had tried to bribe the people
the
into
parents.
saying, yeah, into say, hey, don't report it, and I'll let you stay in my house free. And I
Of,
think there is something that the people in Liberia are missing. There's a disconnect these people are missing. One thing I noticed about Liberia is that they only see rape as a criminal offense. Rape is also a civil offense. After the crime, after the criminal trial, they
yes.
need to go after the civil trial. They
They
need
need
to
to
take
own
these
that
people.
house.
Yes, they need to take these people's properties.
Yes.
Yes. If you're going to offer these people room for 2 years, no, we'll take your entire
The
property.
whole house.
Yes,
Yes.
we'll take the whole thing. Say you're going to jail for the next 10, 15 years, you don't need it.
Nope,
We'll
not
take
at
it.
all.
They don't need to live there, but they can go ahead, they can sell it, they
They
can,
can rent
whoever they
it.
want to do it, they can take that
Yep.
money and use it to help that get through therapy and other things she
You.
needs.
Yep.
They should start taking
Exactly.
this small money that people offering them, and thinking, well, if I don't take the money there, if I take 1,000 US, I can change my life. No, you can actually pursue criminal charges, and after criminal charges, you can pursue civil charges, and you can get way more than that $1,000 from whoever the perpetrator is that can actually help your child.
The problem with Liberia, unfortunately, the most Liberians living in Liberia are really short-sighted. Given an opportunity for a lump sum versus more of that lump sum, say the $1,000
Hmm.
versus 10 years
Hmm.
of $200 a month, most will go for
Yeah, yeah,
the $1,000
yeah,
instant gratification.
yeah,
That's what I mean by short-sighted.
yeah,
But yeah.
yeah.
Anyway,
And that is, I believe that is a product of the war because I lived that before. I actually
it's
had to
not the
come to
product of
America.
the war. It's way
Mhm.
before the war. It's the product
I
of
lived that
slavery.
before. Well, that yeah, you could say that too. You could say that too. Because I remember I used to have that short sightedness. Um, where you get to this point where you I remember there was a time growing up in Liberia, I couldn't think beyond like a week. I couldn't plan beyond a week. It was like my whole life existed in a week.
Wow.
Yeah, I couldn't. You know, like if you got food, if you got money, you can't plan beyond a week.
Wow.
Yes, your whole life rotated around a week. You know, people died so often. You know,
That's
things
sad
changed
though.
so often. You ran. You know, I mean, like one minute you're in school, the next minute you're running, and you only ran what you could carry. So people
Mm,
you never bought a lot of things. You
right.
know, because
Right.
you couldn't carry everything. It's in the higher life existed. You know, it
Wow.
wasn't until I left Liberia, I came to America, and then I had to change my mindset. Like, oh no, I can invest.
Yeah.
I can actually start a 401k that will last me for 20 years. You
Yeah.
know, that mindset had to change when I left it. I couldn't think like that in Liberia, to be honest with
Interesting.
you. Yes, yeah. Um anyway, go ahead, Nani. Did you have updates for us?
So we're trying to see if we can get her. I don't know why it's not working. She's there, but there's no picture.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there's no picture. So I sent her my number so that she can be able to call me for WhatsApp, and we'll just do the voice thing. But why I send that to her to talk, I know you all were talking about it's not that the until we can get her on, we'll just continue to flow as
Yeah.
we've been doing. Um Wanted to talk a little bit about this the protests in Liberia
Yes,
of
yes,
Princess
yes.
Cooper. I think the courage that the mothers of Princess and what's the other
Odell Sherman.
Odell Sherman has, and the fact that they've been able to sustain this for what 3 days. Today's the third day.
Mm-hmm.
On now, I did see a little bit of it today where they arrested some of the protesters, including Princess's mom, because of the protests. But I
Mm-hmm.
think the fact that I almost want to be hopeful that it is different this time. But then again, it's just so hard to do. So we're just gonna take Fatu now since she's able to call in. Hello,
Hey, Glendy.
can you all hear her?
Yes,
Yes,
we
we
can.
can.
Okay, so so folks, we want you all to hold on, Fatu. I'm just gonna
Hi,
put
everyone.
I want to put your picture up so that people know who this beautiful woman is that's talking. Okay,
Awesome.
so this is Fatu. She's talking to us by way of WhatsApp because we had some trouble with her getting on. So welcome
What's
to
up?
what's up? We say what's up. Welcome to Women with Words today.
Thank you.
Um, so we want to flow directly into the show because we've already had
Thank you so
yeah
much
a
for
delay.
having me.
So tell us a little bit about who Fatu is.
Well, I call myself a development planner. And what that really means is that I am a professional with organizational development, change management background, as well as project management background. And I work with governments and other stakeholders to design projects for development in any country. And normally my background in terms of experience has been in 3 regions in Africa, the US, and South America and the Caribbean. So my training covers economics, it covers management, it covers communication, as well as project management. So it's a mix of those things. And what I really do is I design governance structures, institutional training. I build processes, design processes for effective management of projects or programs all over the world. Currently, in the area of oil and gas governance, and what I'm actually doing is building capacity of stakeholders, which include government as well as small businesses or startups to build their capacity to participate in oil and gas operations. I have a Master of Science in Organizational Development and Strategy, and I also have a Master's in International economics, and diplomacy. So, more about me. I went to convent. I'm also an alumni of Cathedral High School. Graduated from St. Teresa's Convent, and then went to University of Liberia, where I got a bachelor's in political science and minored in communication. I've been working with international organizations for almost 30 years. I've worked with UNICEF in Liberia, UNHCR in Ghana, UNDP in Guyana, World Bank in DC, IMF in DC, and back to Liberia with the National Oil Company of Liberia, as well as the Cummings Foundation. And then I'm back into oil and gas, managing my own company called Guyana Global Consulting Group. And then I also have a publishing component to it, which is Gap Magazine. So I have 2 kids. I have a son who is 15 years old, who has Down syndrome, and I have a 4-year-old daughter. So that's a little bit about me with respect to, career, professional, and all that. But in terms of my own personality, I'm just someone who likes to push boundaries, and I'm very curious about life and pushing myself to limits that I try not to set, boundaries for myself, but I try to push myself to places where I know with a little bit of experience and willingness to learn, I can operate in that field. So you can say that I am a disruptor. I definitely disrupt, and I'm also a very creative person. So that's a little bit of myself. I'm the only girl in my family. I'm the youngest. My father was a Fulbright professor. He was head of the English department, University of Liberia. My mother owned one of the best bakeries in Liberia, Dolly's Bakery, during the 70s and 80s. Yeah. So I've got a little bit of entrepreneurship, a lot of entrepreneurship experience starting from the home. And so that has really helped me to be a creative and to try to manage things and resources, very limited resources, for a long period of time. So that's a little bit about me.
You are an educated disruptor. You're an educated disruptor. Yes.
There's something called good trouble.
Yes.
That's what you do.
Yes, definitely.
Yes. So I think to some, we always like to, when guests come on, and we really hope that we would have been able to see you on the camera, because I think all two of us here tonight, we do identify with you from Convent and Cathedral. I don't know about Michael, where he came from, but
Actually, I remember
one of my schoolmates. I think she was 1 year ahead of me. She's like, Fatu, the whole while you're in Cathedral, I never heard you talk. And I said, I was trying to observe what was going on.
I know, right? I know. But
I actually remember her from Convent and not Cathedral. I don't think we were in Cathedral together. I remember playing basketball in the early 80s with her.
Did you hear Agata?
Yes.
Okay, yes. All right.
We kind of went off for a second. Yes. So I used to play for Saints and Hornets, and so I remember Agata from all our cat trotter Saints, Hornets.
Yes.
Definitely feisty. She enjoyed.
That's the old me.
She said that's the old. She said Agata said that's the old her.
Yeah.
But anyway, we heard a little bit of
what?
It's the old Agata.
Okay.
Let's just move on from.
All right. So we want to talk about, of course, April. April is a very special month, and you talk about your son who's 15 now. We want to talk a little bit about him. We want to also want to start from you telling us whether you knew you were going to have a child of special needs.
The thing is that at some point during the pregnancy, you do have, you are in the health sector, so you are familiar with some of the tests, that diagnostics that pregnant women have to take during the periods, whether it was the first trimester or the second trimester. So somewhere in the first trimester, there was the need to do something about checking the child's, there were folds in the neck and measuring it to see whether the child will have some disability or the other. But I went in late, so for that particular test, they have a period that you're supposed to go in to do it, and I was about 2 weeks late, 10 days late for that test. And so they measured certain parts just on the screen, the ultrasound, and they came out with a figure, so folds in the child's neck supposed to be not more, anything from 2 to 3 centimeters is normal. My son was bigger because I had gone in late, and what they captured was 3 centimeters, and so that fell in the catchment of normal. They also did a chemical test, and it was kind of inconclusive. It was neither here nor there. But it kind of gave me some awareness that something wasn't really going right, and so at some point we had to go in. I saw what do you call it, a high-risk doctor who said that, looking at the scan, there were certain parts in the child's brain that were not developing properly or overdeveloped, something of that nature. So I went to the Children's Hospital. We did a CT scan, and the conclusion was that the child was too early at 5 months to determine whether things will not normalize. So I was still very optimistic. When the child was born, the doctor still struggled with whether he had Down syndrome or not. In fact, they put Down syndrome, they erased it, they wrote it down, they kept on scratching the paper until there was a hole in the sheet. Because his ABGA reading was very high. It's a reading to test the child's, vitality and all that. It was a 9. He was very alert. So they kept on saying, your child is very alert. And I'm like, what's that supposed to mean? For the first time mother, I really didn't understand So at some point, I wanted to see my child. I had him by C-section. And I saw the child, and he said he had Down syndrome. And I said, well, I asked God for a child. I didn't ask God for a perfect child or a typical child. And so this was my blessing. So that's how I've taken it.
Yes.
So those are some of the indicators here for me.
Yeah. So you hear now. Okay.
Yes and no.
So tell us. So I get that it was.
Say that again, please.
No, I was saying it was. We got your answer. It was yes or no. You probably knew, and you probably didn't have everything that was conclusive enough to say yes. I knew.
Definitely.
My child will have special needs. So tell us a little bit about Down syndrome, because we've grown up with 1 or 2 children in Liberia who had that, and we probably growing up didn't know that was what they have. There was a show not too long ago, Agata tagged me on, of a beautiful young lady in Liberia with her parents who also has Down syndrome. So tell us a little bit about what Down syndrome is.
Okay. I'm going to just try to be as simple as possible. So the person who discovered this syndrome is called Down. That's the person's last name, Dr. Down. And so what he observed was that when you the chromosome in the human body, when the human body is formed, any human being is supposed to have 36 chromosomes. All right, so it's a genetic defect actually that it is a normally an what we call it a freak of nature. Right, it happens. It's like when some people are born with one extra digit. Right, you may have 10 fingers, and then you have a little one which is extra on your hand. All right, you see that with some people. So it's like instead of having 10 fingers, you have maybe 10 and a little bit. Some people have it with toes as well. So with this particular syndrome, they call it Down syndrome. Instead of the child or the human being having 46 chromosomes, this person comes out with 47. And when you look at chromosomes, they come in pairs. All right. So normally you have 23 pairs, which makes it 46. So with my son, he had 23 pairs and an extra piece of the chromosome number 21. So typically, when you're looking at it from a scientific or biological point of view, you say trisomy 21, which means 3 expressions of the chromosome number 21. All right. And so when you have it, any person who has it predisposes you to, I'll say, low immunity. You have a lot of stomach, I'll say, gastrointestinal problems. A number of them are born with birth defects like hole in the heart, kidneys, things of that nature. And so they struggle. A lot of their struggles are with these defects. And then, of course, they do have speech delays. I have met a child in Liberia with Down syndrome who speaks very well. In fact, that child was speaking better to me. So it all boils down to how you expose the child. But typically, they need early intervention, meaning the moment you find out that a child has it, the syndrome slows down their processing. That's really what it is. Their mental processing is a little bit slower than typical.
Okay. So sometimes people will generalize and put, and just for the audience who's just joining us, want to say welcome. Thank you for joining GBC Women with Words. We're on here today with Fatu Gbedema. Unfortunately, we cannot have her via the cameras, but she's on the phone, and we're going to get all the information we need to get in about this phenomenal Black Liberian woman. So I want to talk about what is autism and Down syndrome the same? Because sometimes we have people who may think that they're the same. So you tell us, you've already told us a little bit about the defect and a little bit about some of the things that they go through and the difficulties. So are they classified in the same category?
Autism is different from Down syndrome.
Okay.
And the difference is that children born with Down syndrome have an extra chromosome, number 23. All right. Whereas those with autism do not necessarily have chromosomal defects or overexpression. All right. So they may have more neurotypical issues in terms of their neurology and how their brain is wired. All right. But you do have sometimes children who have Down syndrome who are showing more of the autism, meaning they may be less expressive, because we know when you're looking at autism, they have to learn social skills. All right. Where children with Down syndrome are extremely social. You know, they love everybody. They hug us, they kiss us, that kind of thing. I mean, they're just pure love. They forgive very easily, but they express, and if they don't like something, they'll let you know, very strongly. And, they'll scream the whole neighborhood to hear it, but right after that, he's gone back to base, So they're social. But then there have been diagnoses where some kids with Down syndrome can also show autism. All right, so
Okay.
you now have a scenario where you have Down syndrome autism. There are certain behaviors that kids with Down syndrome show, which are very similar to kids with autism. One of those things is called stimming, which is like stimulating themselves. So they may hum to themselves. They're sitting down, they're humming, repeatedly, and you really have to like break that. They can also be this what would we call it? This destructive, meaning they want to figure things out to the point where they will break anything around them to figure it out. So the laptops, I mean, how many laptops have he crashed? TVs he's broken, chairs he's broken, and all along I thought it was just him. But then once I joined the support group of moms with Down syndrome and parents with kids who have Down syndrome, it was clear that all of them run through this, and you have to find ways for them to be able to manage the expense. So in a way, too, they're very expensive because one, they capture things slowly. So you have to have time, and you have to give them the opportunity to actualize themselves. You got to have patience, and that is also money. All right. But when it comes to the violence, sometimes you have people who have autism who are labeled as violent. What I see with my son is that kids with Down syndrome, they copy extremely well. They model very well. So when you model good behavior, they will model you completely. They also have photographic memory. So they know how to get anywhere so long as you pass that route a few times. They will even tell you you're reaching your destination, you don't even reach there. But with so if you are violent, if you're a violent parent, they'll be 100%. So whatever you give to them is what you get. So there are times when, for instance, I will get vexed with him, or I will shout, like how you do your typical African child.
Right.
You can't do it with them. You really have to have a high degree of self-control. Because even when I get vexed with other people, he will get vexed with those same people. Even though he has no beef with them. So like even when you're disciplining your daughter, a small child, I just, the way you do things is 100% different, in a typical environment than you will do with children with Down syndrome, because you have to be aware that they're watching everything that you do and they take it to the next level. So if it's love, every morning I wake up and I give him a kiss on the cheek. He will wake up every morning when he sees me, he'll come give me a kiss. He'll give me a kiss. That's just the way anything you do, he will copy you. So you gotta be like very disciplined.
Yes.
You know. So that's the hardest part,
But I think the fact, and I think this is the second time we've learned. We had Jackie Cooper on here talking about autism, and who spoke very highly of the support group that she's a part of.
Right.
And I think that support group has helped you a lot to be able to adequately care for your son. Now, before we go a little bit, I want to ask about support, financial. I know it's not easy to have a child of special needs. You live outside of Liberia, in Ghana, I believe. So how are you able, or if there was somebody listening today who wanted to help support or to just send a gift to your son, how would they be able to get that to you? I know there's let me find that, and you just tell us a little bit about the financially, how difficult has it been? What has been some of the challenges?
Well, the challenge came with COVID, actually, because, once COVID came, a lot of businesses shut down, lots of opportunities shut down, so there was loss of income. And with a loss of income, I couldn't keep him in school. We couldn't even, feed ourselves. So we initially started with a GoFundMe, and we had people donate. And our long-term plan is actually to return to the U.S. So that he can get back into the system and get the support that he needs from the state. All right. But to be able to send any assistance, I'm working with one of my sisters. I'll call a family. Her name is T1 Towe. So we're using her Cash App, which is $ T1 TEEWON Towe, TOWEH. So you can Cash App her, and she can be able to send anything that she gets to me. In addition, you can send a send wave to my name and my phone number, and I should be able to receive it. That number is +233 55856 0086. So what our long-term goal, which I'm hoping this year will occur, is that we're able to raise enough money to get air tickets. And it's not just him alone. It's myself, him, and his sister to be able to get to the States and get him back into the interventions that he needs to speech therapy, physical therapy, occupational therapy, and then going to vocational technical. One of the things about children with Down syndrome is that they're very good with what we call it, practical skills. There's so many things I've posted on a page that I have on Facebook called Common Ground for Exceptionals. And so in that page, you will see so much happening with children with Down syndrome. Some of them have become PhD holders. Some of them have become actors. Some of them have become restaurant owners. Some of them make socks that they sell. They're millionaires as a result of that. Some of them are actors, models. One thing about them is that they're very good looking. Now, I also learned, when I had my son initially in the U.S., that people actually in America, they operate on the eyes of the kids because they try to avoid stigma. So people do plastic surgery on the kids' eyes. You won't believe it. So you wouldn't know that they have Down syndrome just simply because of the way society receives them, because there's a lack of understanding about how to handle them. But for someone who has, is being faced with a situation where they have a child who has Down syndrome, my advice to them is, first thing is get the support you need. It's not everything that the doctor tells you is true. Every child with Down syndrome will behave differently. Some of them learn very fast. My son is very good with computers in terms of playing computer games. He scores, numbers that normal people can't even get. So I know that he's gifted in that way. It's just a matter of getting him immersed in it at a more professional level. He also is very good with paintings. So he's good with art, so in those areas that we want to develop. But for the parents, it's important that they also educate themselves because, like I was saying, it's not just an issue of what the doctor tells you. When I had my son, one of the pediatricians told me that, oh my God, your son is not going to be, an aerospace engineer. And I said,
wow.
Kids in the world who got, Down syndrome.
Wow.
I said, so how would you know? This is USA. I said, so how will you know whether he'll become, an aerospace engineer? And I said, well, what makes you think he even wants that?
Wow.
But you will get a lot of, I would say, ignorant comments coming out. And the only hope I can give you, or anyone who is in this situation, is don't listen to what people say. You gotta have belief in your son, in your child. You watch the child, you see how the child behaves. You realize the child understands everything you tell him. He may not be speaking normally, but there's nothing I tell that boy to do that he doesn't understand that he knows how to do it.
Amazing.
That tells me the child is intelligent.
Absolutely.
So believe in yourself, believe in your child, and don't let people put things in your head. Second thing is you gotta read a lot about the condition and then join these support groups. So apart from common ground for exceptionals, there are other groups like World Down Syndrome Community. There's also Down syndrome parents with children with Down syndrome. You have moms with kids with Down syndrome, and when you start listening to the things that they share, that's when you realize that at a hospital level, at a clinical level, there's a lot of ignorance. And these parents have pushed boundaries. The advocacy has to be real. We have to put our arms together around each other and push for our kids, because when you look at the health sector has nothing for people with intellectual disability. They have things for physical disability. There's nothing for intellectual disability. And those interventions are key, because if you are looking at the convention, right, we have conventions on the right of the child. Education, is one of the rights. And then health is another right. So if you leave those kids out of the picture, you don't have interventions for them. They become what they call miscreants, or, kids who are, fall into bad habits or fall into bad groups because the parents haven't gotten the support to give them what they need to be fully functional in life. So the advocacy part is important. So for me, I know I have a lot of work in front of me to use my son as what I'll call a gift to Liberia, to push for the lawmakers, for instance, to have in their budget that some level of support for people who have children with intellectual disability like Down syndrome or autism, or they have Asperger's. They have all kinds of genetic defects. I won't say genetic. I'll call them freaks of nature. And when I say freak of nature, I mean it comes as a surprise.
Right.
In biology, it's unexpected, and people think it's genetic. A lot of people think it's genetic, but more and more it's becoming very clear that, initially they were saying you have to be an older mother to have a child with Down syndrome, but when you look at the average age of mothers who have Down syndrome is 28 years. All right. Wow. So it's a myth that, the older mother is the one who's creating, kids who are not, typical. But with Down syndrome, that's not the case. Yeah.
Okay.
You gotta really believe in God. You gotta have a lot of faith. You gotta have a lot of faith. On a daily basis, you gotta push yourself and walk with God, because on a daily basis you're facing discrimination. Playgrounds don't take them into consideration. Classrooms don't take them into consideration. They have very low muscle tone, and so they can't lift their own weight. And that's one of the reasons they can be big, because they're flabby, all right? Whereas a normal person will have tight tone, they don't have tone, Right. So you take them to the gym and, you try to give them a little bit of tone, it's not happening.
But
it's also discrimination based on race. It's like implicit discrimination, because some of the things that we've been giving to Caucasian kids, the support, the tools, the toys, you won't even hear it being told to you that you need to buy these kind of toys and these kind of use these type of skills. Like they call them weighted blankets. Weighted blankets help the kids build tone, because it's heavy. And once you put it on them from an early age, they start building tone because they're under it and they're fighting the weight almost every night. Okay. All right. You don't have that. I didn't have that information until just about a year ago.
Yeah. So Agata wanted to.
It's just amazing what's out there.
Yeah, I know. Let me see what Agata and Michael, you have a question to ask Fatu as we get to the close of this?
Yeah, we've heard a lot about your wonderful son, and I'm excited. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us and our audience. I do want to talk a little bit about the magazine called Gap. What does that stand for? And I know we're a little bit out of time, but if you can tell us just a little bit about what GAP stands for and exactly what it does. I do want to have an opportunity to learn about that.
Did you hear Fatu?
All right, so GAP
okay.
stands for Girls. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So GAP stands for Gurus and Prospects. And Guru is an expert, really. Someone who knows a lot about certain things, and not just from the certificate point of view, but also just from experience. And prospects are people who want to be like the guru. So it's like a mentee. We have a mentor, a coach, and then we have mentees, people who want to be like the guru. Okay. So this magazine is actually meant at showcasing experts in their field of discipline, how they got there, what they did to get there, and then it gives information to prospects, young people, or just a regular professional who wants to become an expert. How did they, how did that sage or that guru do what he or she did to become, to rise to the pinnacle of their career and be seen as somebody you need to follow and learn from. And the reason is we came up with this magazine is because we need to accelerate development. In Liberia, for instance, because of the Civil War, the country has really lagged behind in education.
Yes.
And currently, the quality of education in Liberia is not as good as we would like it.
That's correct.
So, from an HR standpoint, you got to have some kind of intervention, bringing the seasoned professionals together to meet with the young ones who are coming up, so that they can learn practical things to quickly bring the learner on board to become fully functional professional within a shorter period of time. Because we know that it's not just academics that will make people successful, it's also your application of what you know theoretically into practice. And people learn, when you look at how people learn better when they're getting the practicals. All right. So it's to help the country or Africa. So my target population was Africa and the diaspora. It's diaspora. So we're talking about all of Africa, Middle East, South America, Latin America, and people in the US and Europe who associate with being Black. Right. And so the whole idea is to bring the world a little bit closer together and to showcase how to get people to learn and then become better at what they do within a shorter period of time. So we actually showcase, we look for professionals who are at the top of their career in the field. Gap magazine, this edition was on oil and gas. So we focus on oil and gas professionals, women, men, who are leading, thought leaders in the energy sector, who are doing phenomenal things, to transform their countries and their environments. And we showcase them. The magazine also focuses a lot on energy-related topics like climate change. People developing or developed worlds trying to bring in renewable energy solutions and trying to move away from fossil fuels. And of course, there's this argument that, most of the Western countries have exhausted their oil reserves and they've developed new technology to get energy. And so developing countries should be given a chance to also exploit their resources and not just cut it off, but to also transition. So you hear a lot of things in the media about energy transition. What does that mean? For the African is, we have oil. Let's still drill the oil. Let's drill it responsibly. All right. So we want to be much more careful, but then you need technology to be more careful. You need to spend more money to be careful. But don't stop us, from drilling, because you guys have made your money and you've made a lot of money from, slavery and all that kind of stuff. We get a lot of resources from slavery.
Yeah.
You cannot come and just stop everything you're doing, not buy our products. Again, it's about them getting the resources that they have to develop themselves and their capabilities so high, and then trying to ram it down our throats and say, stop the drilling, use solar technology, use wind, use this, use that. And the argument is, fine, we want to save the earth. We understand what fossil fuels do to the climate, but at the same time, we want to be given a chance to make enough money to transition into renewables. So those are the arguments. And then you can also read about local content. What is local content? In developing country context, the small companies or the startups in developing countries don't have money to run oil and gas operations. All right? So these big companies come into the country and they have all the resources and they set up business and they're making plenty of money. But the small companies or the indigenous companies lack that capacity. So laws have to be put in place to protect them. So one of the things I did when I was with the National Oil Company of Liberia was to help put the process in for what we call enactment of petroleum law and local content policies. And I did that through consultation, national consultations and diaspora consultations, and those feedback were put into law to protect Liberian businesses. Yeah. It's the same knowledge that I've taken to Guyana to also help Guyanese businesses to thrive and to partner with other investors to also participate in the oil and gas sector. So that's what the magazine is all about.
Yes. So I mean, I think I went and looked at it a couple of times on the website. I have the website out. We wish we had more time. We would love to probably schedule a future interview where we'll be able to get to see you.
Yeah.
More. But I think it's been a full hour of just hearing a lot about such an accomplished woman you are. Hearing about your son, your perseverance, and everything that you've done. It's been a pleasure of us having you. Whenever you have any opportunity in the future, if you feel that you need to come on for something,
definitely do this again.
Yes.
We must do this again where we get to see you. We don't want the people to only be looking at the pictures. So I know, right?
Thank you so much, Fatu.
Thank you so much for taking. I know the time. We also want to compliment you for the time difference.
Yes.
That you stay up to be able to acknowledge us and to honor. Please take the pictures.
I was looking fly.
I know. But we'll do it. We'll do it again. But thank you. Yes, we gotta do it. We gotta redo it. Thank you so much. Thank you for having and sharing your information with us. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Fatu.
All right. Get some rest now. All righty.
What an amazing mother.
An amazing mother. Let me move the banner so I can see your faces.
No, all right, leave it on.
No, look at you too. Yeah. Hello.
Let me tell my gusa.
I know, right? My hand was like, anyway, it was good to have her.
Yes, very informative.
Very, very.
Lots of information on Down syndrome.
Yes. So what we going to next? Thank you, folks. Don't go. We got a few things to talk about. We must talk about it.
Yeah, we must.
We must talk about it.
Oh dear.
You have to.
Well, let's talk about what's trending. Let's talk about the page first.
Liberia. On the page first? Okay.
On the page first, because you know that Liberia war would take a long time, Mama. We're already in an hour.
I know, right?
Okay, what's trending on the page? Well, on a serious note, we've all heard about this gospel artist, who died. Such a phenomenal gospel musical artist, who has a song that I've been listening to from her, something about crying. We heard that we've been here in the news around is her death is being linked to physical abuse. We don't know
Mm.
how true that is from her spouse, but such a beautiful soul dying in such a way based on all of the hearsays. All we can say is it's a horrible thing. Abuse is real. It's real. People need to be able to identify it when you see it. Don't second guess it. Do something about it. A lot of people sometimes when these things happen, a lot of people that's when you have all the counselors coming. I wouldn't have done this. I wouldn't do this. No one is no only someone who's in an environment of being abused is able to identify to be able to walk away. I can say all I want to do with somebody who's been abused. I don't know how difficult it is for that person. So it's like you say, I wouldn't do that. You would do the same thing. You'll probably do even worse. And it's not just the physical abuse. There's mental abuse also. I still feel to some degree that I have had some mental abuse that I still need counseling for. So it's a serious thing. It's no joke. But for her to die such a way, if it's true, it's kind of horrible. I got to Michael want to say anything?
It's it's serious, like you said, and physical abuse usually start with verbal abuse.
Mhm.
And then if I always say if someone hits you one time, more than likely they will do it again. Most people, most abusers, they abuse you and then they apologize. They're so apologetic, they won't do it again. Some of them even cry. I'm just saying to all of the women and men out there, because there are some women that do abuse their male partners. uh, if at any time you're in a relationship, whatever kind of relationship it is, if someone speaks to you in a manner in which makes you uncomfortable, if it hurts your feelings, do something about it. If someone physically hits you, rest assured, 9 times out of 10, they will do it again. So get out as quickly as you can. I
Mhm.
know, Glenda, you said that, people say if it was me, things have changed. Things have changed from when our parents were in abusive relationship and they couldn't leave. They couldn't leave because of what society would say. Where would she go? She will be a divorcee. We don't live in those societies anymore. So I don't know about one woman or man that someone would tap on their shoulder and say, "Hey, I'm being abused, can you help me?" That won't help them. So if you're out there and you're being abused, help is literally a text away.
Yes, Michael.
Um, Unfortunately, it is there. Unfortunately, as much as we would like to think that we've come really far, we haven't come far enough. Unfortunately, as much as we would like to think that things have changed, they haven't changed enough. People still tell family members, "Where you going? Who would take you and your children?" I mean, just
Hmm.
the most
Mhm.
disheartening things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
you know, um, God will take care of you.
Hmm.
Hang in there.
Yeah, get out.
Don't
You
hang
know,
in there. Get out.
get
And I
out.
was saying what I was saying was that's how some of
I
the
know.
family members will say, hang
Yeah.
in
Oh
there.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
know.
Pour your
I'm just
heart.
messing with
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Get out. God will take care of you.
Mm.
You know,
One of the
God
one of
will
the
take care of
comments
you.
one of the comments I look at, somebody wrote that society has created this, the environment.
Yeah.
So just is like, take for example, a young woman who's married to a preacher.
Hmm.
How is she going to leave that preacher? It's like, oh, you want to go leave the rearing of all the
Mm.
holy people? It's like how they're going to look at me. It's like people, I don't, people need not to be worried about what society thinks
Right.
or what they're going to say, but
Right.
you need to be able to think about how are you feeling? What's it going to be mean for you? And even if you have nowhere to go, for someone to be beating on you,
I know. I'd rather be homeless.
I'd rather be homeless. I
Yeah.
am telling you.
Listen,
Yeah.
it's not only abuse, even physical or verbal. Sometimes marriages just don't work.
Mhm.
And it's okay. You're not a failure, all of those things that society put upon us. Um, you get I guess you get to a certain point in your life, or you have to be raised a certain way or think a certain way to say, look, screw all of y'all. I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna do what's best for me. I got this joke. My ex-husband, when we got divorced, he was a deacon. Look, I left the man's a reverend. I elevated him. Y'all know the man wasn't gonna be reverend if he was so married. So it's not always bad.
I just don't see it as a revenue wife. So
I
yes,
know.
yes,
Even Jesus saw that and said, child, you better let that girl go. If you about to do my work and be about my business, she ain't the one.
Oh my goodness, that's how it killed me. He was elevated because of you, right?
Because of me.
But even though he was elevated because of you had God said no, lead out on them.
Yeah. He tried. We went to counseling, we talk about staying and making it just wasn't working. And look how I lead that man. The man became pastor. The man remarried. Look how I elevated this man. Look at here. You see God?
Yeah.
You see God? Y'all don't let nothing hold y'all back, man.
Yeah. But yes, indeed, that's what it is. People just gotta
do you.
You gotta get out. Get out. It'll be better. It gets better. Get out. It gets better. It gets better. So, yeah, it gets better.
Oh,
so what?
Right.
So the other topic was it's a mess. I swear. The other one was there was these. Let me talk about this. So there is a post also on the page. I tell you this page when you don't have the time. So usually I don't have the time to read everything.
Yeah.
But one on Saturday and Sunday where I don't do anything else except lay in my room and in my bed. I will go from the first post straight through.
Oh gosh.
And I am telling you, it's interesting. So there's this post here about where this other young woman who now has called off her marriage, the wedding day, because the dude has been so abusive to her right after this story. So there's a long post about that.
I saw
and
that.
had over almost 1,300 people viewing it. But the most lovable one was two monkeys.
Oh my God.
Monkeys. Oh my goodness. I saw that one. I said, these people here, these people here on the whole week, I'm just going to end it. So go look on the page for the two monkeys.
Let me tell you what I did. Every time you get on, you scroll, and it comes in my feed. I saw it the first. I'm like, what is this? I saw it. And every time I pick up my phone and I scroll, I say, so you know what I did this morning? I deleted it. I don't want to see it no more. I was like, what is this?
The first thing I showed up, and she is so sad. And then the comment that the person who posted it said, when you promise 2 rounds, but you want to give one and you tired.
That's why you need to start making promises.
Jack, do what you can. Move right.
That's it.
Sons of Adam.
Yours and your promises.
But the thing is, so it's like I was sitting there, I was like, and she just that was like, you tired? We're gonna.
She's trying to
wake it up. That's the problem. I can't. I just couldn't see that anymore. I was like, listen here, I gotta go.
So that's what was trending on the page. Trending in Liberia, Michael.
Trending in Liberia. So I mean, we did talk about, of course, the disheartening, news of continued rape in Liberia. So the landlord, the picture I saw, he was behind bars.
Yes,
which was good. We have yet to see the SOS director behind bars.
Yeah, and that
Um,
news, the bomb that Glendy dropped earlier, we got to follow that one.
yes,
Is
yes, we
that
have to
true?
follow that to make sure that that does not happen. That he doesn't automatically just all of a sudden find himself in Freetown.
You'll
And
watch the
yes,
borders.
yep. So hopefully that's the case. The other thing that is trending in Liberia is the invincible invisible pack. Depending on who ready,
That is.
yeah, you either
Well,
getting uh
the Magnum cum laude said it was an invisible one that you cannot see.
yeah,
So I assumed or I saw somewhere was the invincible
yeah,
one that is incapable of being conquered, of being
yes,
defeated, subdued. You know, as in IE.
yeah,
They're undefeated. The invincible 11. They cannot be beaten. That's what that means, people. I feel that we need to do an English lesson here and just help our folks out. So if you can't say the word and you don't know, just say IE.
ID pack.
The
They call
IE
it ID
pack.
pack. Let's
King
call it
George.
ID pack. So yeah, so that is what's trending in Liberia. There are mixed reactions. There are those who believe that is the best thing that's happened in Liberia since sliced bread.
Wow.
Yes, there are others who believe
Wow.
that they don't know what the fuss is all about. Um, there are others who believe that there are more important things in Liberia that needs to be attended to. Like the dark airport, and
JFK,
yeah, JFK.
you
And so,
know,
somebody sent to me today Maslow's hierarchy.
Hierarchy of needs.
Yes. And they sent it to me today, and they were like, what are we missing? You know, when it comes to
people
the
don't
hierarchy
read.
of needs, like what
People
are we
don't read.
missing when we come to priorities?
They,
And
they, they don't read. I think what the guy named Kimmy Weeks
hmm
posted on his page, and I responded, he said something to the effect of, it's a beautiful park, yada, yada, yada. And my response to that was, yes, it is a beautiful park. However, my personal opinion, go argue with your ancestors if you don't agree with me, is our priorities in Liberia, they're misplaced, right? We lack the bare necessities of life. We don't have running water. We don't have electricity. We don't have health care. We lack the bare necessities of life. How is a park on the top? If you had $2.7 million to spend,
hmm
why don't you do something that will help and better the lives of the Liberian people? How is a park that? But then again, I said in that same post, but it's here. It's
hmm
already here. So my next question is, what is the maintenance plan? What does that look like? Because Liberians, I've said it before, we're really great at building beautiful things, zero at maintaining it. We have beautiful structures in Liberia, and none of them have been maintained. I passed by EJ Roy when I was in Liberia a year or so ago. It's so dilapidated. I remember when that was really pretty.
Yeah.
All the statues we got. The Masonic Temple is in there. They built another one, which is really pretty. I mean, Dukar Hotel was another pretty structure.
hmm
None of those things have been maintained. But we're so quick to build new buildings, but we forget. So my question to you, Mr. President, is there any maintenance plan? It's already here. There's nothing we can do about it. It's there. The park is there. Invisible or not, is there.
hmm
We can see it. So it's not invisible, my people, Koji. we can see it. So let's maintain it.
Yes, yes,
That's my 2 cents.
yes. So we have, I just want to read this comment. I found it very interesting from Wade. She say, if our leaders who study Maslow, they'll be able to come up with solutions to so many of the ills in our society. A person who basic necessities have not or are not being met will never be able to physically or mentally think beyond. That just sums it up.
Mm-hmm.
When
It
you-
does.
Yeah, that's just really sums everything up. It's like I got beat up. I'm still getting beat up. It's okay. It's not.
Yeah, I saw your diagnosis.
Oh my God!
We're
And
sending you to Agatha's daughter. You need help.
I need
I
her.
saw that.
I am crazy. I am fake. I'm an angry woman. I have a limited mind. Just you name it. Just because
Did you? Are you an RN?
who me?
You.
I am not gonna go there with you.
I just asked a simple
Yes,
question.
yes.
What I'll tell you is that she did pass her in-class exam
I'm
on the
just
first
asking.
try.
Michael, are you
That's
an
all
RN?
I'm saying.
Michael, are you an RN too?
I did pass my in-class exam on the first try. I'm
Hello,
just
since
saying.
2015. I'm gonna leave that right there though.
Oh my God, the cousin was just enough for being angry that one of my Filipino workmates that I work with, what's the name? Had to even she said I had to come and comment for someone to call you an angry woman. She said I just could not take it. I said how do you feel on your mind? It's amazing. People have to have their own opinions of things, and we cannot just everything can't just be grand and dandy like my dad is saying. We used to say everything is okay. What are the priorities? And some people, the genuine concern is what is yes, the park may be good. Yes, the kids will have somewhere to play. Number one, how are you going to maintain it? Whether you're going to it's going to help the economy, whether it's going to give people jobs. What is the plan? And also, what could there have been anything else done better than that
money.
for right now for $2.7 million?
But the children hungry. How they gonna go play in the park?
No, but I can't tell you a question. They can't even tell you who's going to manage the park. If you ask about who's going to manage the park, they can't even tell you that. Nobody can answer that question. Who's going to manage the park? You know, in Liberia, they don't have a park and recreation department.
Yeah.
They don't have that. So nobody knows who's going to manage the park.
MCCA in Moravia.
That coaching.
Go ahead.
But the
It
park
will
is
be invisible to
but
you.
it's invisible. How you will manage it? You can see it.
The man already overwhelmed with the day. You're going to ask on the executive with a problem. What kind
But you can see it.
So that's why he kept quite a shot. It is invisible.
Invisible.
I
You
won't
can see it. So
No,
nothing
we'll
there.
take care of
Nothing
yourself.
Oh my God.
Let me say in the real Liberian English, nothing spoil. The man say you can see it. So what in that clean when you can see nothing? You can see it.
It would just be blank. All right. I think that's the only with of course we want to compliment and encourage the women of Liberia who's standing for the the relatives of Princess Cooper. It is amazing to have seen what they've been doing this week. Just really, really amazing. Giving a voice, asking for justice. What is even more important than for a mother to ask the Liberian government to please? What is even more hurtful is that Odell Sherman talking about the fact that they haven't heard from anybody from the government.
You mean her mother?
Her mother. And then Princess mom also talking about this. We want to encourage them. Our hearts go out to them. We're asking. We're not asking for too much. We're just saying there have been too many mysterious deaths with no reasons as to why. We haven't heard anything about it, and also too many rape. We're just saying pay attention to these things that's happening in the country, and then after that, you can do everything. It's just human courtesy. It's a sense of decency to be concerned about what's going on in your country, how your people are feeling, how they're faring. Just to do something about it. That's just basic. It's so simple to do that. But we all will be watching to see the park open tomorrow.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, Spoon TV might be there.
yeah, Spoon TV will be there, so we will
So
be
how they will see the park if it's invisible?
invisible. But it will depend. So if people standing behind we are pressing the preso, they will see it. They stay behind Koji, they won't see anything because it's
Okay.
invisible.
Okay.
So the eye there, two lines.
So we are got the invincible park,
Yes.
and Koji has the invisible
Invisible because the work will be
Got
too much. You ain't able to clean it.
park. Got it.
Yeah. When y'all come see me tonight, please Agatha and Michael, they don't want to open their
No,
comment.
I didn't want
And I scare. I will ask you.
Your cost many.
And I scare.
No, not even reply.
That's what I'm
You tell
asking.
them now.
That's what I'm asking. All the group people related. And I'm scared. Wrong is wrong. If somebody gave me 2.7 million right now and I was in his shoe, I definitely won't be building no damn park.
Tell me about
I
it.
don't want what say so. Y'all come for me. Or
Yeah,
go
please,
over here.
I need my flesh. It's taking a lot out of me yesterday with all the cussing. Y'all kick it to Agatha. Y'all cuss out today.
They're not ever.
All righty. I want to talk a little bit about this week. We did have a show on Tuesday. Thanks to Michael for hosting the show.
I know.
With the national debate team with Alex Devine. The debate starts. We'll let Michael talk just a little bit about it, but we have listed some schools here. College of West. If you've been to any one of these schools, I'm coming to speak good English. If you've been to any of these schools, then on the 16th, there's going to be a show where you're going to come show your money. If you want your school to win, you got to support them in this debate. Liberia National Debate Program that's going to be starting. You have College of West Africa, that Michael School. I call all the big people name. Michael School. Michael went to this school here, College of West Africa. Cathedral High College School, the Agatha School. She was poor president. We have Peter Harris. We have St. Teresa's Convent. We had what's the woman name? Faustina went to this school here.
Fatu Gbedema went to this school.
Fatu Gbedema went to this school here. Where they power went to this school here.
Yeah.
We have Moravia College. We have SDA High School. We have St. Michael Catholic School. We have J.J. Roberts United Methodist School.
Oh, now all the rich people children went there.
Yes. Yes, a fool. we have Rex Institute. We have
that was my ex-husband went.
I see why he became a preacher later.
It's okay. Rex is a good school. Very good people graduated from that school.
We have Tottenham High School. So
used to be a very good school.
We highlighted these schools 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 schools. They will be participating in the debate on Saturday. If you went to the school, we'll post the link. You can't pay your money. Put your mouth where your money is to support. Agatha is already, we appointed her to be in charge of the category poor money. She will can't sit down there.
No, man, I'm in charge of no. I for coming, I will collect the convent school money. I will do a school now. All right.
On a serious note, we want to be able to do this, and we want to be able to. We will set the time. We want to be able to help these young people, encourage them.
Just $5 each school.
Yes, just call your school. So if you know the convent get and they get big mouth, big mouth like Wiley Power when she ready to write long English.
So but when I was for her school now, Faustina was support.
Yes, come. You better come there. Why
you can support your students.
We're gonna set the time. We're gonna do the flyer. We're gonna be on here for 1 hour.
Yes,
and we're gonna be listing these 10 schools. If the school at the end of 1 hour, who will have $10? We'll show you us out.
Okay. So on a serious note, I know we're joking, but listen, we talk about all of the bad things that happen in Liberia. This is a young man that's doing something great. You will get an opportunity to hear these students, even if it's not your school. This is a young Liberian student, right, being represented by each of these schools. And let's just come and support them, really.
Why does she got beat up, but she will back it up? I know
that's what I'm talking about.
Don't get money. You see, Agatha get money.
I get no money. The money reach where the money is.
Get money. Then when you put Faustina Bonner, who is a CPA, she get money.
She get plenty of money.
I tell you, a convent, me, I went to a convent way in kindergarten. I didn't even get school on the list. My school not listed there.
You lie, you get school coming and got you. I need at least $100 for each of them.
Yes, but come on Saturday, we will set
Yes.
the time, we will do the flyer, we will share it for
Let's
1
support our
hour.
students.
1 hour, we'll be collecting some money to be able to support this initiative, make sure the kids enjoy. But not only that, make sure that we showcase that are very educated. In fact, for these children to be with all of the difficulties and the hard time in
Yes.
Liberia, for them to even be so, I know the English word that the book people know it.
Eloquent.
Eloquent. Thank you, Papa.
There's a lot of words to describe these
Yes.
children.
Yes.
Not only eloquent,
Imagine.
they have to be motivated. They have
Yes.
to be disciplined. They have to be studious. I mean, I can go on and on and
Yes.
on. This is what's right with Liberia. Let's
Yes.
support that.
So on Saturday, we're coming. We will be here. Why there you got your chair? Make sure you're here. I call
Glennie, put the schools up again. I want to see if I can call. I want to call at least 1 or 2 names from each school. Let's see if I
Michael,
can
you
do
got
that.
a pen? You got a pen, Michael?
I get it, Pino.
Okay, let's see.
Money pen, and you got a pen.
You
Okay.
get a pen. Okay. College of West Africa. I'm going to
Yes.
start with my own sissy,
Yes.
Barbara Darby. She went
What
to
is that?
CWA.
Yes, she did.
Who else I know went to CWA?
Master Morgan, the president for Cottington University Alumni Association. Bring your
There
money.
you go. And our own Michael Padmore.
Yes.
Right here.
Now they put the money
Okay, so
on
we
the
got at least 3 from CWA. Right?
Cathedral.
Cathedral. Oh, the people play. I'm gonna call on our president-elect
Yes.
of the Cathedral School Alumni Association, Mrs.
Yes.
Wetta Gant. Come
Wetta
here,
Gant.
show us what you're working with.
Show
Let's support
us, show
our
us.
students. I also want to call JS James Nathan. He's a former president of the Alumni Association. Mr. Charles Dennis, that's loving under the African skies.
Oh, yes.
He's
Bring
part
some of
of
that money from
Cathedral
Liberia.
High School. So let me move to B.W. Harris.
There plenty.
B.W. Harris, you know, Tiola Gibson is from Cathedral, but her husband is from B.W. Harris. So, Mr.
You
Harris,
want some of that money.
we want you to please come and support my own sissy, my nephew's mother, Miss Julia Mansford. I hear
There
you.
you
I'm
go.
calling your name. Come out and
Come on.
support. I'm
Come
going to
Saturday.
switch over to St. Teresa's Convent. We already talked about the eloquent,
Big
the
mouth
beautiful,
people.
the intelligent Miss Wade Power. She already said she putting her money where her mouth is.
Where her mouth
I'm calling
is.
my own friend, my partner. I'm calling Barbara Cooper. Come on, girl. You got to show us.
We need
Faustina
money.
Bonner, sissy, you got to come and do this. And let me
But
tell
you know,
you.
that whole movie theater,
Hold on, let me just take it up a notch because St. Patrick doesn't have a physical building, but
You
in
gotta come.
spirit, they're with their sisters of St. Teresa's Convent. So I'm going to call my own cousin, Mr. Stephen Kofa. We want Mr. Stephen Kofa to come. My brother Sam Sibu, I want you to come. Sano Kane, I want you to come. Zanga Boy, I want you to come. I'm going to stop with the St. Patrick boys. Francis Gibson. Just before I leave, I'm going to just holler at you.
Yes.
Okay, let's go to Monrovia College, MC. I don't know if I know anybody from MC, but I think what's the girl name went to MC? Monique Walker. She went to Convent and then she went to MC.
Money went to
right?
MC.
She went to Convent and then she went to MC. So I'm calling you out, Monique. SDA. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I know anybody from SDA. Do you know anybody?
We know people that will come there.
Okay, SDA, please make me shame. If you went to SDA and I know you and I don't know that, please
Oh,
make
yeah,
me
no
shame.
from SDA. I know
Call a name. Call a name. Call a name.
Patrick Tar went to SDA.
Patrick Tar.
Patrick Tar with George Norman. George Norman went to SDA.
Okay, George.
Come on.
Yep.
Okay. So we got 2. How about St. Michael's Catholic School? That was across the bridge, right? Gardnerville.
Yes,
That's another
in
Catholic
Gardnersville.
school. Do you know anybody from St. Michael's?
We'll find their names.
I'm just putting that out there. If between the 3 of us, we didn't know that you went to St. Michael's, you didn't have to graduate. You just must have attended. Come to us and let us know that you went to St. Michael's. We expect you to come and donate. J.J. Roberts United Methodist School. That's where all the rich people children going. I ain't even need to call that name. Let me call my BFF first. Abraham Katie. I need you to come. And Patricia Woods, I need you to come. Frederica Freed Nelson, I need you to come. David Duke, I need you to come. So I'm calling all of y'all JJ Rawa people. Come on over and help us out.
Oh, I see that here.
She probably went to JJ Rawa before
Yes,
she
she
went to
did.
CWA.
Why want that Francie Macy and she went there?
I don't know who that is, but and see if you out there, come on over. Okay, we got 2 more schools. Rex Institute.
Richard Bright.
There
Come
you
on,
go,
Richard Bright. Vivian Jones. Come on, Vivian Jones. Richard Bright. Let me see what other people.
You gotta call my ex-husband.
The pastor.
I'm gonna call my ex-husband.
Call him to come. He gotta come there.
The right reverend. Let's not Democrat Manley. And I'm gonna call his brother Michael. I'm gonna call and we'll talk about went to Rick's Junior College.
Yes.
Who else I know went to Rick's? Anyway, I will call a few.
Went to Rick's and Cathedral. We have a lot of Rick's. Olu Menje. He went
there
to
you
Rick's.
go.
They got some prominent Liberian people that went to Rick's.
Yeah. Now let's talk about Tottenham High.
Come on. Tottenham High. English people.
Hey, you're people.
Pasuku went to Cathedral. We'll be looking for your money on Saturday.
Oh, we need to call people from Tottenham High. Now I know nobody went to Tottenham High. If
Tottenham
I know you,
I know Perry went to. My ex-husband went there, but I don't even know whether he is or what he is. But he went there, but I don't know if he.
Okay, Mr. Ex-husband, please come support Tottenham High student. That's for the children. We don't care if you ex-former future, none of that. Come on over. Maybe you will be in our blue wedding if you donate.
You might get an invite.
You might.
All right. So we've went down the list. We if each of the people we call donated $10, how much are we talking about so far?
We're trying to raise at least $5,000.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 20, 27 right there. That's $270 right there.
Let me just say, there's a serious question here. Vera topic keys that I bet I can't get or see the person asking the question here. But Vera, let me tell you, what we want to do is, it's not easy to launch a program. So the funds will be put into one account to ensure that they have a successful debate program, whether it's going to last, and they wanted to do it in all the counties. So the reason why we were asking schools to come, because at the debate, we're going to say, St. Teresa's Convent raised the highest money to host this debate program. And Convent get how to get big muff. Big muff. But
they put up the mouth match the pocket. Don't bring it to home and get it.
Yes. So that's what we want. And you see why the power she already in the tier. Why the please be prepared to come on the show here on Thursday. On Saturday, we're raising money here. So it's like a plaque is gonna go to the school. A plaque is gonna go to the school that raised the highest amount on Saturday to ensure that the 2022 debate will be hosted successfully.
Yes.
When you talk about money business, Convent won't always to be in the top. So Convent guess.
But Convent guess in Patrick Bobby Hannon now.
Yes. So that is what we're doing. The money is gonna go one place. We'll do flyers. We'll do announcements tomorrow. We'll talk about it a little bit tomorrow. But on Saturday, I don't know what time it is. I gotta wait for the boss man and I gotta set the time because these are the American people. Follow the time.
Don't worry, we'll have a great show.
I know Wada said she will be there. Very good. So come Saturday, we will set the time.
Listen. Let me say something really quickly. This is what is right with Liberia. I have to applaud Weddy. When we are talking about things that are challenging in Liberia, she speaks out. Here we are trying to highlight things that are right with Liberia. she's speaking out, and she's being visible. She's making herself available. So I want to challenge all of you out there. Kef Hassan,
What
you
school you went to?
always on that. I don't know what school you went to.
Fita,
But I don't know what school you went to, but this is what is right with Liberia. And Francine, you know, with Dr. Richardson, we're highlighting what is right with Liberia. We need your support so we can have a successful Liberian national debate. I want to call on Stanton Witherspoon.
Yes.
This is what is right with Liberia. We don't only want to talk what's wrong with Liberia. We don't only want to highlight the dark airports. We don't want to highlight the invisible wing. Koji, you need to contribute. We don't only want to highlight what's wrong with Liberia. We want to support what's right with Liberia. So if you've ever said anything that's wrong with Liberia and you don't come out to support what's right with Liberia, I'm going to be on you. I'm going to be on you. So thank you, Weddy. I appreciate you.
We appreciate you. We're looking forward to it. You will have we will prepare the link. We will share the link. I don't know. The technocrat will check whether it will be better with StreamYard or be better with Zoom.
yeah, StreamYard being really playing fun, especially with Liberia Network, with Africa Network.
Probably do it with
Zoom.
Okay. We'll do it with Zoom. Please make sure you set it. There are people here who are the wider power than a small woman, so we want to make sure she keeps it up front and center. And that's small woman that coming on the theater.
I'm calling on Mr. Cummings.
So let me tell you,
I'm calling everybody.
Well, listen, she calling all the people there. She not calling our me, man, Mr. Joseph. Mr. Joseph better be on the live here. We need some of your money too.
Don't worry about Mr. Joseph money. That job, that open, we have money I want. President,
the warehouse, there too.
That's he ain't standing with us who went to the same school.
It's okay. Whatever school they want to, them just bring some mass so the children can get price.
But we're gonna block at least 2 hours on Saturday. You see me, I say I get no play with the people that are just telling you now.
2 p.m. Eastern to 4 p.m. 2
p.m. to 4 p.m. We'll set up
so
the Zoom.
6 to 8 Liberia time.
Yes, we'll share it so that you all can come on. We're strictly going to be, we want this thing to be sustained so that every year we are saying that Women with Words along with Lusulu, we are supporting the debate, the national debate program everywhere. We want every time the man just got married, he just becoming, the man take care of his wife. We got to be here to help supporting the man just married, every day he running behind all the people cheering and to go help support. So we want to say, Alice, we're here for you. We're here for the young children. We want this is the year that is starting, but we're going to talk some more in the background to make sure that this is something that happens every year.
Yes.
Every year it happens, and that you have the support that you need. We also want to go to other places where schools will look forward to it, where kids will look forward to it. There will be benefits for these children, even if they were to travel to an African country for some kind of program. We want to do that, but we're trying to raise $5,000 on Saturday, right?
2 hours. 2 hours.
2 hours.
Come on, cathedral people, y'all come on. Ramses, I need all of y'all to come so we can get this cathedral money. I'm going to be soliciting.
Please, Vera and Vera will be on this thing. Faustina will be here. All the money people are calling in. Wada will be here. She will be leading the pack for the convent guests. Agatha already got plenty of money. She will be here. All these people on here, y'all will be here on Saturday. Michael, don't act like we're calling you the giant for CW.
Oh, me and the foxes will come in the whole den.
Yeah. Me and get school.
Come in the whole den.
That fox coming, oh Lord. Me and Kitty
the people got money.
That's also rich people. That's also rich people children when the general
the foxes
competition coming. We were talking
about it. People, Mr. Cummings.
Y'all bring him. Me, I'm going to call my call. I'll call him my call. So drive we account. We need you.
We need money for our students. Okay. All right, folks. We've had a wonderful time.
Yes.
We're looking forward to raising $5,000 for the debate on Saturday for our young children. We want to showcase them. We want to hear them. So we'll be talking some more with Alex, because when we're coming and we're collaborating, we have to make sure that this program is successful and planned accordingly. You
Yes.
see how wedded, when you bring in wedded power into someone, you want to write any English on you. They show you tap, because when she ready to write and start bringing all the receipts, that's small thing. Anyway,
Okay, so hold on. I got one proposal for wedding. When wedding comes on, I'm gonna need wedding to speak, and then I need Glendy to interpret. So wedding will speak proper English.
they're going to Cologua.
And
But let me tell you something. Something happened today, my people. Your way, something happened with football. Did you hear? I heard it. I said, "Hey, Glenn, you alone can say that I got that." Did you hear Fatu saying Agatha? I said, Jesus Christ.
bye. That's what we're done.
I said, "Hey, Glenn, leave it. Agatha, baby." People say Agatha.
Why they would be here? She would speak proper English, and Glendy will interpret in simple English,
Simple.
aka Colloquial.
All right, but next week we have to talk about our guest next week.
Yes,
next week we have a phenomenal young man. I'm so excited that he's coming. He's done some amazing work. About 2 or 3 weeks ago, went back to his high school, did a whole Hall of Fame of Black women. So next week, Thursday, Mr. Bart Cooper, the artist Bart Cooper, will be here. He is looking forward to being here. He's done some phenomenal artwork. I'll tell you how I came across this young man. And I'm telling you, I am really looking forward to Bart being here next. Or it's not going to be an easy thing. Where this is a Liberian young man. He is so talented. So I have a painting in my room from this young man. I didn't pay a dime for it, but you'll hear the story next week about it. Oh yeah, but me and Bart next week. But we're looking forward to him. Want to showcase his work. He is a phenomenal artist. So that's why we are. We're gonna go to do some work. So
Okay.
you see, the other thing we're gonna be doing, I got that Michael and the chap here, I can prop all the work they in the day. I coming to start charging them to pay me. They will tell me that to
why you gotta tell I want that?
Man, anyway, I got school, so I got to pay for me for Saturday.
What did she say?
I ain't hear that.
Yeah? I'm not speaking English.
We thank you.
I'm not speaking no English.
Thank you to our guest Fatu for coming on. Thank you for the fact that we're going to be doing this very huge initiative. We want to continue to do it every year. So that means we're going to put ourselves together to see what we can do as a group to make sure that every year our kids look forward to this. We want to be supportive of our Liberian children. Yes. So until Saturday, not Thursday, we're coming on Saturday.
To beg for money.
To beg for money. To beg for serious money for our children and no children. $5,000. I'm gonna go straight to the studio after in my printing studio to start the flyers.
I will message Kev Hassan.
Yes.
And Stanton.
So please make sure
and my cousin. Anybody know how I can get in touch with my cousin Joshua?
Kev got it no more. Kev
got it no more.
Oh, so when I get Kev will tell me no.
I didn't get what he said. So don't even forget Ben. What school Ben said he went to? Peabody, what school he went to?
Sympathy.
But
Katira.
They have to
go to Katira.
Ben Savi went to Katira.
Oh, that after the war begin?
It's the other case of the war.
I just told you.
Until Saturday, folks will be here on Saturday. You see the green. You know everything. I gotta ask them the green I running out there. If you're coming on this program, make sure you wear something green. We're looking for money.
She left pumping business.
I love to pump. Somebody asked me one time, they pumping business. Why you like you and your ex-husband used to pump?
No, you and your new husband will pump. Let go.
I said, yeah, I like pumping.
You like
but wear your green. If you're coming on here, that's just a silent victory I've already given to Cathedral and Convent because it's their color.
Oh, the color school.
All right, folks. Anything I got there? We're good? Michael?
Thank you so much for joining. Check us out on our YouTube channel. But what day is tomorrow?
Yama Friday. Look, I have to say thank you to a silent person. I'm telling you. We have a silent worker who since anytime you see me sharing, he finished sending it. He said, Facebook not black me playing this so that you are wanted to black.
All righty.
Our silent worker, enter Eva. Eva
Yes.
enter
And the beauty still working in the background.
She'll be in the background. We're going to be raising money on Saturday. So, folks, we'll see you on Saturday, okay? Thank you all for joining us today. Bye-bye.